Hi guys, happy new year 2023. I really hope you all are doing well and having a wonderful start to this new year. Today I'm super excited to be sitting here and talking to you about my 13 ways to reset for 2023. I really love doing this every single year because I feel like it helps me to step into new year with hope. I really love the concept of starting fresh, having new dreams, goals and aspirations. So yeah, I want to share a few practical things which you can do to reset for this beautiful new year. Okay, my first thing is to create a vision board. This is something which I've been doing for last 5 years and it has become a little ritual in this family, and I absolutely love creating vision board every single year. And if you are somebody who is not into creating a physical board, you can totally go towards a digital route. I feel like that is very easy to do. You can go through the Pinterest, browse through the images and pin it in your board and make it your digital vision board. Doing it digitally is much easier option. Personally, I absolutely adore the idea of sitting with your loved ones and talking about your dreams and aspirations and goals for this new year. And you can totally do as a group activities with some of your friends, and that's what I planned initially, but unfortunately it didn't work out, so we did it as a couple. But yeah, it was such a fun exercise. I absolutely love collecting magazines throughout the year, and when the year end arrives, I'll have a pile of magazines. I go through each magazine and see if I like any picture, any images or words which sparks joy in my heart, which inspires me. So I just like cutting those things and sticking it onto the board. I love including photos that inspires me, quotes that motivates me, and I feel like it's great to look back whenever I'm feeling down or I just need a little bit of inspiration. Next thing I like to do is to declutter my closet. So I declutter my closet several times in a year, but I feel like especially during the start of the new year, it's so nice to do. I try to only keep the items which fills my heart with joy and gratitude, and I try only keeping the items which fits me well and makes me feel confident. That way I am not carrying the baggage from the last year, and I'm not keeping anything which is not bringing me joy anymore. I like giving away items to some of my friends which might enjoy them, or maybe you can donate them or sell them and make some extra cash. Next thing I like doing is making goals, and of course you do not have to do it if you don't want to do it, but personally I love reflecting on my last year. I love to see what worked, what didn't work, what I could have done differently. And as human beings, we are constantly learning and evolving, and it's so fascinating to see how our dreams and aspirations also keeps evolving. So I prefer categorizing my goals into different categories in terms of health, finance, work, relationship and spirituality. And if you are somebody who's interested in knowing the process of how I do my goal setting, I have done a detailed video on that. I'm gonna link that above here. I just follow that step every single year, so yeah, it's a detailed one and it's a good video, so definitely check it out if you are looking for something like that. One goal which I wrote last year, I remember, was to travel more, and clearly it did not happen, but I'm determined maybe this year it will be a little better. And another thing I would like to do is to create a little garden in the backyard. I'm somebody who loves nature, loves plant, and I would like to have a little garden in the backyard. Our backyard is like not very huge, it's a decent sized backyard, so we'll see what best we could do with that. And I've also planned several house projects, so stay tuned for that. And if you are somebody who is new to my channel, we moved a year ago to this house, and we have done a lot of updates, and I keep sharing that with you. I have done several house projects and more to come this year, so stay tuned for that. Next thing I like to do is to go through my sheets and towels and maybe get rid of the sheets or towels which are old or maybe not bringing me joy. Okay, so this is a big one for me, digital declutter. If you are somebody who works in online space or an online creator, you guys know how hard it gets. We have lots and lots of pictures and videos, and we have TBs and TBs of data, so I feel like it's so important go through the images and the videos which we don't need and just get rid of it, make space for new. I also use my laptop for editing, so I have a lot of videos and files on my desktop, so I feel like deleting those unwanted files is also very useful to create a clear space. Also going through my emails, clearing out spam things if there are any, or also going through the phone storage and and any apps which I am not using. Another important thing I do is to go through my following list on my socials. I feel like that is very important to evaluate and see what kind of thoughts these people are invoking in your mind. Are they filling your mind and heart with joy or inspiration, or they are making you feel negative in any way? Personally, I feel like it's super important because our world is much more digital these days, and we don't realize how much the people we follow or the content we consume online impact our mind and then our life as a result. So I personally believe in curating my online spaces to be something which makes me feel content, motivated, and just makes me feel good about my life and not feel bad or do any sorts of comparison. My next thing is to dream, and I feel like it's different than goal setting. To me, goals are very realistic, attainable, achievable. Like I wanna save this amount of money, I wanna lose weight, I wanna travel more. But dreaming to me is to go all in, and this might be a little unrealistic to our human brain, but I feel like it's such a special exercise to do, keeping your practical brain aside. And this year I followed these journal prompts, and I feel like it was such a special exercise to do. So you want to just answer each question, and I did this in the form of free flow writing. If you are somebody who's new to journaling, I feel like answering the prompts is such a great way to begin with. And yeah, initially I was not sure on what to write, but once I started to write, it was like I was writing pages and pages, and it was such a special thing to do. Highly recommend doing it. My next thing to do is to clean the kitchen. I like going through the pots and pans, the cabinets, the pantry, everything, and just see what I am no longer using and maybe donating it. I feel like that just clears the space for new items and also helps in minimizing the clutter. Next is to clean your brushes and beauty blender. I think it's such a great time to wash your beauty blenders and brushes. I highly recommend washing your brushes and beauty blender often, but especially during the new year, I feel like it's great to start fresh and wash every single brush and your beauty blender. I like using mixture of olive oil and dish soap to clean the brushes and beauty blender. It cleans them like magic. Highly recommend if you haven't tried it. And also I like going through my skincare and makeup drawer and see what makeup or skincare items which I'm no longer using, or maybe something is expired. So I feel like this is the great time to get rid of those items. Okay, next thing to do is to deep clean. I feel like it's so easy to forget about those little nooks and crannies which I often forget, and I'll be taking off Christmas decor soon, and I'll be recording a separate video for that. So I'll be sharing some of my deep cleaning and starting fresh tips in that video, so stay tuned. Staying on the cleaning topic, I highly recommend deodorizing your mattresses and couches. I feel like we often forget it. Couches attracts odor from daily use, pets and spills. So I feel like it's a great time to deodorize them, and I do have a white couch, as you can see, so this does require a little bit more maintenance. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing that. Next thing is to going through your subscriptions. Personally, I do not have much subscription. We have a few, but if you are somebody who have like multiple subscriptions, definitely go through the list and see what services you are not using. Maybe cancel them, pause them. That way you'll be able to save some money. Next thing is to prioritize movement. I feel like it's so important, especially nowadays when we all have a very sedentary lifestyle, and it's very easy to get carried away and just sit for longer hours. That's why movement is so necessary. And that said, I am not at all a gym person, and I do not like intense cardio or gym workout. Personally, I love doing yoga, and I feel like there are so many amazing free resources available online. So I really enjoy these free gifts and follow yoga classes online, and I feel like it's so easy to follow. Just pull out your mat. You do not need any fancy equipments. You just stay there for like 10, 20, 30 minutes, whatever your heart desires. And personally, I feel like 3 to 4 days a week just works fine for me, but I totally get it. Everybody is different, and not everybody likes doing yoga. So I feel like it's so important to find any form of movement which you personally enjoy. And I also have a pet yogi, and I like walking him and also playing with him inside the house sometimes. And I feel like it's super important to find any kind of movement which makes you feel good in your body. And staying on the topic of fitness, I really want to touch up upon food a little bit. I feel like diet is super important, and I personally prefer eating a lot of home cooked meals. I absolutely love food, and I'm a foodie by heart. I love eating different kind of cuisines, love to experiment with food, love hosting, and I've been really good with food because I love to cook, and I've been sharing a lot of my meals in my vlog. So if you haven't checked it out already, definitely check them out, and I'm planning on doing more recipe videos this year, so stay tuned. I personally believe eating good, high quality, nutrient dense food is super important, so I highly recommend incorporating lots of high vibe food in your diet, and I promise it will make you feel better. My last tip is to learn something new. I feel like learning something new is super important, and it is something which makes your life super interesting. We all love to do something outside of our regular jobs, but unfortunately we get super busy and just life takes over, and we do not get enough time to pursue those hobbies. So I highly recommend taking out a little chunk of time and pursue those hobbies, and it can be anything. Maybe you want to learn any instrument, maybe you want to learn painting, art, it can be anything. For me personally, I love cooking, so that's what I do whenever I'm feeling like low or anything. I just go into my kitchen, create something, and just it makes me feel good, and I really feel energized after that. So I feel like this year I want to experiment with different cuisines. So yeah, that's the plan. I feel like pursuing these little hobbies definitely contributes towards feeling good. Alright you guys, so that was all for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed watching and found this video helpful, and let me know if you have any other tips in the comment section down below. I would love to incorporate your tips in my life this year. But yeah, thank you so much for spending time with me today, and I really appreciate you all, and I will talk to you in my next one. Bye.